Okay, here it is. For some England players, it's doomsday. For some England players, it's the happiest day. They're thrilled, right? They're in the best position they can be in. They're representing their country at European Championships in Germany. And again, that stands out for a couple of players. But James, I want to touch on the players who miss out. Making the provisional squad is an achievement in and of itself. This is the bookie's favorite for the team, right, to win the whole thing. You and I might disagree with that, but that's where gambling is going. That's where Vegas is putting its money. But let's touch on the players who haven't made Gareth Southgate's England squad. Jack Grealish, Harry Maguire, James Maddison, Jared Branthwaite, James Trafford, Curtis Jones, Joel Quansah. First of all, who sticks out to you of, man, mistake, they should have gone. What the hell is he thinking?
Uh, um, I look at the
Or
England.
do you think fair play? Like, okay, each of those, I wouldn't take any of those guys.
Jack, it's a tough one because you have players, two players who've been to tournaments, three. I think Madison has been to the World Cup one. I'm not sure. He's probably been in previous England um tournaments, but the one's Harry Maguire. You know his love for Harry Maguire. It's not us, it's his love for Harry Maguire. And apparently he's never let England down. And that's gonna be a big miss for Southgate. Maybe not for England, but I think it's not the fact that he's not available, it's not the fact that he just wasn't good enough. It's the fact that he was unfit. I think he's had a calf injury that's going to keep him out. So that has nothing to do with his selection overall. The interesting one to me is Jack Grealish. And to a lot of people, Jack Grealish should have went, but I have to give Gareth Southgate a lot of credit, Jack. I mean a lot of credit. Because in previous tournaments, we have lambasted him and we went at him for not picking the correct team based on merit. This is the first time that I can say, Jack, I look down at every name there and I think, man, he's had a good season. He's had the only one that you can question is a John Stones in there and Luke Shaw. Everybody else has had a very good season. Kieran Trippier has been in and out there, but he was always going to be selected there. Everybody here has had great seasons. Yeah, let's be dead honest. Yeah, Marcus Rashford didn't go, and does he bring something different to England? Is he better than players who went there? Yes, he is. But if we're basing it on merit, he hasn't been good enough this season.
But I'd argue against that though. I think in his position, who's he competing with? He's
He's
competing probably with Phil Foden. He's competing probably with Anthony Gordon, right? I'm putting Marcus Rashford above Jack Grealish in the pecking order, personally. I think Marcus Rashford has had a better season than Jack Grealish. The fact both of them aren't going, I think, again, you talked about it, it gives its credit to Gareth Southgate. No Rashford, no Maguire, no Grealish, no Henderson. Gareth Southgate, are you feeling okay? You're actually picking players based on their performances. Like it's insane.
Jack. That's where I was going because he wasn't good. Rashford's season wasn't good enough to go to the Euros, and I asked myself, man, if that's the case, why is Grealish going? Like, seriously, why is Grealish going in that situation? The fact that he's been left out based on the fact that he hasn't been good this season is Gareth Southgate for once looking down and said, who are the form players leading up to the tournament? I'm not picking off what you've done previously. Who are the form players leading up to the tournament? And he has identified them. And you have to say
And he's picked
fair
them.
play to him.
But can I just put this out there? Rashford not being at it, not feeling himself, like whether it's how he behaves on social media, writing in the Players Tribune, whatever it is, I think it's pretty clear. You don't have to see Rashford in training to go, oh, Rashford's not quite at it. Jack Grealish did not give off the same energy and the same kind of vibe of a player who's really struggling and not quite at it. So I wonder if Gareth Southgate went, let's get him in, let's see what he's about, because he seems he's just picked up a Premier League Champions medal, right? He has a Carabao Cup medal, right? He's won a double this season. Great, good for him, right? Did well in the Champions League. His team did well in the Champions League in terms of making it to the semis, all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's just Goals and assists may just haven't worked out, but maybe his performances have been okay. Maybe he's just not quite at it. I think he probably got him in training and went, this guy's missing a step. And actually, I can see two guys here in Gordon and Foden who can actually play a little better than he can, or Cole Palmer maybe, who are playing a little better than he can. That's what I think. Now, I'm giving him a lot of credit. What I want to move on to though, I have major concerns about the centre back position. And I'm not saying I want Jared Branthwaite to start for England, but I think it's a fair prediction to say that Jared Branthwaite will be an England starter at some point over the next 4 years. For him to not make the squad when you have a Lewis Dunk, a Joe Gomez, Esri Konsa, I know some of those guys have good position versatility. My one thing would be I would want Jared Branthwaite to have gone. I don't know necessarily who I'd take out. I don't know whether you take out Tony or Watkins. I don't know whether you take out Jared Bowen. I don't know who you take out. I would have wanted Jared Branthwaite to go. That's my only concern with the players who've not been taken out. You agree with me? Don't agree with me? Go.
When it comes to, sorry, Jack, could you just repeat that again? Sorry, I was just looking at something. Could you
That's
just
all right.
repeat that one more time?
Jared Branthwaite, I think, deserves to go.
Hmm.
I don't think he needs to start. I don't think he needs to come on when we're trying to hold on to a 1-0 win or anything like that. I'm not saying he needs to play a big part and a big role, but I think his performances and the future of his position within this England squad is more deserving of his spot than Lewis Dunk, Joe Gomez, Esri Konsa, and probably even Mark Gahey, who I think has really good
So,
scope for the
so,
future.
s- basically, what you're trying to say here that you believe he's better than them, which I get it
I,
to a certain
I
point,
don't
but
think, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I get it to a certain point. But Jack, you got to ask yourself, okay, John Stones is going to be the out and out starter. Yeah, I don't think he's
Yes,
had that
of
great of a
course.
season, but he's going to be the out that house starter. Does Jared Bantway deserve to play next to him? Because you have
No.
to look at it right now. Why is Joe Gomez going? Joe Gomez going because he's had a good season with Liverpool, Jack. He's had a decent season with Liverpool, in fact. But also, he adds that versatility in terms of view of the fact that he can play center back and he can also play full back at the same time. So he has a bit more value than uh Conte. I look at somebody like Lewis Dunk. He is one that I
It's my
question.
one. That's my one because look, I think it's going to be Stones and Gahey, which I don't have a problem with, right? I don't have a massive problem with. I also don't have a massive problem with Luke Shaw at left-sided centre back. He played there last season and got a lot of plaudits for playing there. I don't think you can go into a Euros against France, against Spain, against Germany with Luke Shaw at left-sided centre back. I don't, but I'm not ruling it out. I think it's Stones and Gahey that dunk spot, I think should have been Branthwaite's spot, and I think that's Gareth Southgate's only mistake in his squad.
That one there, I don't disagree. Yeah, the rest of them, Konza and Gay, I don't think he challenges them if I'm being honest. But the loose dunk thing, my thing is this is the loose dunk looks good in a Brighton system, but when he's asked to me, when he's been challenged by certain strikers, Jack, and it's not just on an international level, it's also on a Europa League level with Brighton, yeah, which is to me very similar to to me the international level. You see what he was like. Yeah, Lukaku gave an absolute runaround, both against Roma and also against Belgium. I question, does he have like he seems to be like a lesser version of a high like Harry Maguire in
Yeah,
terms of view of isn't as quick as him, probably better on the not as good on the ball physically, doesn't really match up to him as much. He's the one that I look at and think like, okay, maybe. But the rest of them there, Jack, yeah, he's not touching them if I'm being honest.
yeah. Look, I totally agree with what you've said there. Again, I understand the age thing and whatever, but I just think even an investment for the future in somebody's confidence, building a relationship with the guys around him, I just think it was worthwhile him going. And again, as far as I'm concerned, James, Jared Branthwaite has performed better in the Premier League than Lewis Dunk has, plain and simple. Like, take age and all the other factors outside of it out of it. I think his performances have been better to warrant him going. Um, Only other thing, and again, I know this is going to be a mostly positive video. James, I give him so much credit for taking not only Kobbie Mainoo, but Adam Wharton as well. I give him so much credit for taking both those guys. It would have been so easy to fold and bring in Again, I love this guy, and for me, even tactically, I'd have brought in somebody like James Ward-Prowse. I think lethal off the bench, just as an example. Jordan Henderson, old reliable, blah blah blah. I give him so much credit for bringing Kobe Mainoo in. Although I think the further and further it got through the season, it felt like a no-brainer. And for me, he starts. Adam Wharton, we saw a couple of performances for Palace, and also when he came in for England too, where it just he clearly I think deserves to be there. Um, Apart from that, generally speaking, I'm pretty happy. I think Eberechi Eze deserves his spot clearly there.
100%.
But my only other thing, and we can make a bit of a joke about it now, Jude Bellingham in the forwards category. I know he
He's
gets
here.
forward, and I know he likes
He's
to
here
score
like
goals, but he's not a forward. Let's be honest. He's not a number nine. He's not even a winger. This is a guy who sits behind the forward line. This is a midfielder. So
Ja-
let's
Ja-
make that category a little bit bigger.
the one thing I can look at from this England team is a lot of versatile players, and I know this is thing thrown out a lot in like like in football nowadays, but it's true. We have a lot of versatile players. You look at somebody like Trent Alexander-Arnold. The fact that if England want to go fullback, if England want to play wing backs, he can do that. Play in the middle. Play fullback, he can do that. Conor Gallagher to me can play multiple positions in terms of you of sitting next to a player and being a double pivot, but also playing as like a further um midfielder, almost like a 8/10. I look at somebody like Joe Gomez. We mentioned center back, fullback in there. The fact that, let's be honest, Luke Shaw is the only out and out recognized left back there. Let you know that Joe Gomez is probably going to play a, a little bit there. The one player who I'm looking forward to, and if you guys have watched previous videos of me here, is a player of Anthony Gordon's ability. I think that he's going to be a massive factor. He's not, I don't see him being a bit part player. I see him possibly starting for England going forward. I look at what he's been able to do for Newcastle in the way he's able to take on his man, but not only that, arrive in the box to score goals. He's going to be a massive factor. And another big thing, and I'm happy that he went because if we're basing it on performance, he definitely deserves it, is Jared Bowen. He's been
Yeah.
snubbed on many occasions. This time, his performances have paid off. And will he play a part? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he plays a part, but if we're basing on just on mirror alone, I'm so happy to see him there. But Jack, I'm just gonna throw out the names that ain't going for this England team. The interest: Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, Jack Grealish, James Maddison. Like, wow.
Again, you haven't said a player. What I'm like, oh my God, performances are there, commitments there,
100,
the
100%,
need for the
100%.
that's my thing. I think what Gareth's done is he's basically made the assumption here that look, you've not been at it like these other guys have been at it. So sorry about that. But maybe in 2 years' time, 2026, we go to the USA for a World Cup. A couple of those guys are going to be in the fold. I need to see a couple good years of performances. More importantly, I need to see the form be good for that calendar year leading up to the tournament to make it worth my while for you to come. Um, I really don't have a problem with that. Like, say, we can kind of make a little bit of a joke about somebody like James Ward-Prowse or a bunch of kind of lower level left backs that I think England have as a potential option going forward. But generally speaking, I think he's got it pretty much spot on. I don't look at anybody and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe they've been considered." We can open the conversation and say, do you potentially call up somebody like Michael Elise and hope that before he gets a senior international performance for France, he can get eligibility for England and we can steal him? Of course, you can have those conversations. The Jamal Musialas of the world do exist, right? Only person I do want to ask you about, James, because I think it's an interesting conversation because as much as somebody should go, when you say somebody should go, it means somebody who is going shouldn't go. I want to throw this to you. Jared Bowen or Jadon Sancho?
I totally forgot about him. The better player, Jadon Sancho. The player who's played the best this season, Jared Bowen. So Jared Bowen should go.
I agree, but we saw a semi-final performance from Jadon Sancho that made the internet notice. I don't know if coaches and other people noticed it, but the internet noticed Jadon Sancho in the semis. He played in the Champions League final. He rediscovered a little bit of form. West Ham weren't really at it, at the end of the season. That's the only kind of offensive side of things. And again, look, guys, it's just my own personal opinion. James Ward-Prowse for me should be a bench option for England, period, in the midfield position, just hands down, right? But I think that's one other interesting option. For me, it's Branthwaite over Dunk, and I'd consider maybe Jadon Sancho over Jared Bowen.
I find it hard to justify Jadon Sancho
I'm
right now.
splitting
Based,
hairs.
I find it hard, but just based Jack, the names that aren't going to England is crazy. The talent level that Jadon Sancho, Rashford, Sterling, wow. But I'm happy because I can see Gareth Southgate has grown as a coach, and let's see what he's like. Let's see to me how he approaches it. Because Jack, you mentioned talent level, man. You got Palmer, Foden, Bellingham, Saka, all to pick from. Yeah, he ain't missing that much. And then you got players like Anthony Gordon in there to select. Eze, yeah, like he got some incredible options out there. And also I mentioned the versatility. Don't be surprised if you see a player like Ollie Watkins even drift out wide and play for England out wide too. Like
Well,
so many different options.
Bosnia-Herzegovina game, the 3-0 game, Ezri Konsa played left back, right back, and centre back all in the same game. So again, are we dealing with prime Joshua Kimmich? No. Are we dealing with prime Teo Hernandez or prime Virgil van Dijk across the back line? No. But we're dealing with a guy who can play the position, do it effectively, hopefully isn't going to make too many mistakes. And if Luke Shaw isn't available for whatever reason, there's enough cover there to be able to definitely get through the group stages, touch wood. But when you come up against the international guys, you're hoping that your starters are actually back. And again, I can only applaud Gareth Southgate for his choices. I have my own couple of criticisms, but again, there's a reason why I don't manage England that Gareth Southgate does.
But guys, let us know what you think about this England team right now. Jack Grealish. Listen, I know a couple Grealish stands there. Let us know. I want to hear your grieves. Madison, listen, Madison Grealish going out in Ibiza is gonna be a madness. They might shut down the place. Bottles
Yeah.
everywhere. Harry Maguire not going there. Jadon Sancho, does he deserve to go? Rashford, how is he feeling about it? I bet he's probably happy that he didn't have to go through all the training stuff and get a little bit of hope, knowing he's just been left out. I think he's probably happy with that overall. And the main thing, how's England going to do in this Euros? Comment down below. Let us know. This is Box to Box Football, and we'll see you guys soon.